Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to embroider a name on a knit beanie. The first thing you're going to need is a beanie. You're going to make sure you have one that has an open space where you can put the name. This one is from Walmart, but I also have a lot in my Amazon favorites. I can put the link to that in the description of this video. The yarn I'm going to be using today is a little bit smaller than the yarns I typically use. It is a Big Twist Fine yarn. It is size number 2. I wanted to play around with a smaller yarn to see how the letters look and see if they don't blend together, and this yarn worked perfectly. If you want to grab a different yarn, make sure you're looking for that size 2 fine yarn. Next, you're going to want a water-soluble name pattern. This is from my Etsy shop. I actually have a kit for this project. It comes with everything except for the beanie. The names that I include are printed on this sticker-like material. It comes off and you stick it on your project, stitch over it, and it washes off with water. If you want to print these yourself, I have a printing tutorial on my YouTube channel. For the needle, we're going to be using a darner's needle. This is perfect for yarn and bigger threads, and you can find this in my Amazon favorites, or you can purchase directly in the kit or separately in my Etsy shop. Lastly, you're going to need a pair of scissors. Any scissors will do. To get started, we're going to take our beanie and we're going to lay it on a flat surface and get it ready. Next, we're going to take our water-soluble name pattern and we're going to take it off of the backing and we're going to stick it on our beanie in the middle. If you want, you can take a ruler and make sure that it's perfectly in the middle of your beanie. I like to kind of eyeball it, but that one's up to you. Make sure that the pattern sticks down completely. Move your fingers over it and make sure that there's no bubbles or wrinkles. Now I'm going to turn my hat inside out so it's easier to stitch. Now it's time to thread our needle. So we're going to take our yarn and we're going to take about an arm's length and a half of our yarn. We're going to cut, and then we are going to take the yarn through the eye of the needle. If you struggle with getting your yarn through your needle, you can twist the edge of the yarn before you put it through the needle. We're going to bring our yarn through and it's going to hang down with a little tail about 1/4 of the way down your yarn, and then on the longer end we are going to tie a knot. To tie a knot, I like to wrap the yarn around my finger and then pull it tight into a knot. This ensures that it's at the end of the yarn, but any regular knot will also do. Just make sure to do it 2 to 3 times just so that the knot is secure. To begin chain stitch, we're going to bring our needle and yarn all the way up, and then we're going to bring our needle back down the same place we entered. Don't pull your yarn all the way through because you're going to want to leave a little loop. Bring your needle up about 1/4 of an inch away, and you're going to bring your needle and yarn up through the loop that you made and pull tight. To make the second chain stitch, you're going to bring your needle on the inside of that loop, and then you're going to bring it ahead another 1/4 of an inch. Then you're going to pull it tight into another chain. You're going to repeat this process, bringing your needle through the loop and then back up about 1/4 of an inch every single time. Make sure to adjust your yarn as you're stitching because sometimes it can get caught and this can make it not look uniform. Try to make your chain stitches the same distance every time. Remember, each time you're going to bring your needle through the previous chain and you're going to bring it up 1/4 of an inch, pulling tight. I'm now going to show you a slower version of this. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to bring your needle through the middle of the last chain, and then we're going to pull it tight, leaving a little loop. Now 1/4 of an inch away, we're going to bring our needle and yarn up through that loop, and we're going to pull our yarn tight. So this is the same process that I was doing before, it's just not in one fluid motion. Once again, for this type of stitching, we are going to bring our needle back down through the previous stitch, leave a little loop, bring your needle and yarn up through the loop and pull tight. When you run into a line of previous chain stitches, you can either continue your chain stitch over the line or you can stop your chain stitch and then keep going. I'm going to show you how you can stop your chain stitch in a second. To end your chain stitch, you're going to make your last chain, and then you're going to bring your needle down on the outside of your last loop. Make sure that it's not on the inside because that will pull your stitch undone. I like to end my chain stitch when I come to a new letter like this that doesn't continue on. So then you're going to bring your needle up and you're going to start a new row of chain stitches. When you come to a curve, your stitching can become loose if you continue on exactly how you've been doing it. So on a curve, I like to make smaller stitches, and this will account for the curve. As you can see here, my stitch is a lot smaller. It's probably about 1/5 of an inch instead of 1/4. Now I'm continuing on, and I realize that my yarn is about to run out, so I'm going to show you how to change out your yarn. So I'm going to end my chain stitch by bringing my needle on the outside of my last loop. Bring it to the back, and then we're going to tie it off. To tie off my yarn, I am going to take my needle through my previous stitches. So we're going to go in the middle of the stitch, pull it tight. Same side, we're going to pull it, and then instead of pulling it through, we're going to make a little loop and pull it tight. So we're going to do that one more time. We're going to bring our needle through, and then we're going to pull our needle through the loop this time. Pull it tight. This makes a really secure knot. And then we're going to bring our needle back through our stitches one more time, just so it lays flat on the back. And then we're going to cut. You are then going to rethread your needle. You're going to tie a new knot. Now to restart your chain stitch, you are going to bring your needle and thread up through the last chain stitch in the middle of the loop. Go ahead and pull your needle and yarn up all the way tight, and then we are going to bring our needle back down through the loop, and we're going to continue our chain stitch. This is a very fluid way to restart your stitching when you need to tie off your yarn. Now we're coming to the I in my name, and if you come to a letter like this, you are actually going to stop your chain stitch again. And I'm actually going to go up and do the dot of the I and then come back down and restart my chain stitch for the I. So to move up to the dot, I don't have any stitching I can go through to get to the dot, and I don't want to tie off. So I'm just going to take my yarn through the back of the beanie, and I'm going to go up to that section. For the dot of the I, I'm going to do a lazy daisy. It's basically a single chain stitch. And then you're going to end it and secure it in place. Now I am going to bring my needle up at the top of the I, and I'm going to restart my chain stitch. If you have a V in your name or a letter that is very sharp, to give that sharp look, you can actually end your chain stitch. So I'm bringing my needle on the outside of my last loop, and then I'm actually going to bring my needle up through the middle of the loop and restart my chain stitch. This makes sure that this letter looks like a V and not a U. Once again, I'm coming to a letter that does not continue on, so I am going to end my chain stitch. And now I'm actually going to tie off my yarn, and I'm going to restart my letter in a different section. When you're done stitching, it's time to wash off our stabilizer. You may be tempted to skip this section, but washing off stabilizer is actually super important. I recommend washing your project in running water for 3 to 5 minutes. You're going to start to see the stabilizer coming off. Continue rubbing your finger over the project so that everything comes off. Once most of it is off, you're going to get some hand soap or some mild dish soap, and you're going to rub it into your project. This part seems tedious, but you're just going to keep rubbing in that dish soap until you don't see any black spots. Those black spots are ink, and if left, it can cause bleeding on your project. Keep working and washing, making sure that everything is off, and if you need to, get more soap and do a second rinse. Once you're confident that everything is gone, you don't see any dark spots, you are done washing. You can then throw it in the dryer or air dry. And now you have your finished beanie, and you can wear it on snow days and cold days. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you did, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like and share this video.